Today, we dive into a story that's making waves in Southeast Asia. Vietnam, a country with a rich history and a fierce spirit, seems to have reached its breaking point with its giant neighbor, China. Why is Vietnam telling China to get out now? Stick around to find out. We'll break it all down for you in simple terms. Let's start with some history. Vietnam and China share a long and complicated relationship. For over 1,000 years, parts of Vietnam were under Chinese rule. But the Vietnamese fought hard for their independence and won. Even after gaining freedom, the two nations have had a rocky relationship. One of the biggest issues is the South China Sea. This body of water is extremely valuable. It's full of fish, rich in oil and gas, and is a crucial shipping route. Many countries, including Vietnam, claim parts of it. But China claims almost the entire sea, using its controversial 9-line map. Don't forget to subscribe our channel, HistoryTube. China's actions in the South China Sea. Over the years, China has built artificial islands in the South China Sea. They've turned some of these into military bases with runways and weapons. This has made many countries in the region nervous, especially Vietnam. China has also been accused of bullying other countries. For example, Chinese ships have harassed Vietnamese fishing boats and even attacked them. In some cases, these incidents have led to serious injuries and even deaths. To Vietnam, these actions feel like a violation of their sovereignty. In addition to this, China has deployed Coast Guard and paramilitary vessels to assert its claims. These ships often block access to key areas, making it difficult for Vietnamese fishermen to work in waters they've relied on for generations. This has caused not only economic hardship but also anger among Vietnam's coastal communities. China's actions don't stop at military aggression. There are reports of Chinese survey ships entering Vietnam's exclusive economic zones, EEZ, to explore for oil and gas without permission. Such moves are seen as blatant attempts to assert dominance in the region. Vietnam's response. Vietnam is not staying silent. The country has been strengthening its defenses. It has modernized its military, buying submarines, fighter jets, and other equipment. Vietnam's Kilo-class submarines, in particular, have been highlighted as a strong deterrent against potential naval threats. Vietnam has also formed stronger ties with other countries, like the United States, Japan, and India. These partnerships aim to counterbalance China's growing power. Joint military exercises, naval drills, and trade agreements have become essential tools for Vietnam to build its resilience. On the diplomatic front, Vietnam has filed complaints with international organizations accusing China of violating international laws. One key law is the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, which defines how countries can use the oceans. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled against China's claims in the South China Sea, though China refused to accept the ruling. Vietnam has also started pushing for a stronger regional alliance within ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. By uniting with its neighbors, Vietnam hopes to present a collective front against China's assertiveness. In addition, Vietnam is increasingly working with global powers to ensure freedom of navigation and maintain the rule of law in disputed waters. The latest flashpoint. Recently, tensions have flared up again. Reports suggest that Chinese ships have been intruding into Vietnam's exclusive economic zone, EEZ. This zone is an area extending 200 nautical miles from a country's coast, where it has special rights to resources. Vietnam sees these intrusions as illegal. In response, Vietnam's leaders have made strong statements. They've demanded that China stop its activities and respect Vietnam's sovereignty. Protests have also erupted in Vietnam, with people expressing their anger at China's actions. Some protests have even called for boycotts of Chinese goods and businesses. Adding to the tension is the environmental impact of China's activities. Dredging operations and the construction of artificial islands have damaged coral reefs and marine ecosystems. This has sparked outrage among environmentalists and added another layer to the dispute. Another recent development is Vietnam's push to develop its own energy resources in disputed areas. This has led to confrontations between Vietnamese exploration vessels and Chinese ships. Each encounter adds fuel to an already volatile situation. The people's perspective. Vietnamese people have a deep sense of national pride. They see their country as small but mighty, having resisted powerful enemies throughout history. Many feel that China's actions are disrespectful and unfair. This sentiment has fueled protests and online campaigns, with slogans like "Get out now" gaining traction. Social media has become a powerful tool. Many young Vietnamese are using platforms like Facebook and TikTok to share their views. They are spreading awareness and calling for global support against China's actions. Hashtags and viral videos have amplified their message, drawing attention from audiences worldwide. For many Vietnamese, the issue is personal. Coastal communities rely on the South China Sea for their livelihoods. Every time a fishing boat is harassed or a fisherman is hurt, it stirs deeper anger and a stronger resolve to stand up to China. Educators, historians, and activists in Vietnam are also taking the opportunity to remind the younger generation of their country's past struggles against foreign domination. This historical context is often used to inspire unity and resilience in the face of current challenges. China's perspective. From China's point of view, the South China Sea is a vital strategic area. It's a key route for trade and energy supplies. China's leaders argued that their claims are based on historical records. They also view their actions as protecting their national interests. However, critics say China's approach is aggressive and ignores the rights of other countries. This has led to increasing mistrust and tension in the region. China's "might makes right" approach has alienated not just Vietnam but many other nations as well. China's narrative often emphasizes economic cooperation and shared benefits, but its actions on the ground, from military drills to unilateral resource exploitation, tell a different story. This contradiction has made it harder for China to build trust with its neighbors. The role of other countries. The South China Sea isn't just a regional issue, it's a global one. The United States, for example, conducts freedom of navigation operations to challenge China's claims. American warships sail through the disputed waters to show that they are international, not owned by China. Japan, Australia, and India have also expressed concerns about China's actions. These countries are working with Vietnam and other Southeast Asian nations to promote a rules-based order in the region. Quad members, India, Japan, Australia, and the US, have intensified their cooperation to counterbalance China's growing influence. The European Union has also weighed in, supporting the need for freedom of navigation and adherence to international laws. Vietnam's strategy of engaging these global players has helped it gain broader support. What's next? The situation remains tense. Vietnam is determined to protect its sovereignty, while China shows no signs of backing down. Many experts believe that diplomacy is the best way forward. But that's easier said than done, given the high stakes and deep mistrust. At the same time, Vietnam's people are standing firm. Their message to China is loud and clear: enough is enough. Get out now. Experts suggest that a potential solution could involve ASEAN and China finalizing a code of conduct for the South China Sea. This agreement could set rules to prevent conflicts and ensure peaceful cooperation. However, progress on this has been slow, and doubts remain about China's commitment. Conclusion. The story of Vietnam and China is a complex one, rooted in history but very much alive today. As we've seen, the South China Sea is more than just a body of water. It's a stage for a much bigger struggle over power, sovereignty, and respect. What do you think about this issue? Should China change its approach? Or is Vietnam overreacting? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.